Hey, welcome. This is your LI AI. Today we are going to learn URL shortener system design in about 10 minutes. Interview ready? Now picture someone pasting a giant tracking URL. They want a tiny code. Candidate shrug, hash it, truncate to base 62, store the row, redirect from the database. So what happens? Truncation collisions show up. Two people raise a custom alias and the last write wins. Redirects get hijacked and the celebrity key, one path soaks the entire red QPS while your origin melts. The naive design sounds tidy, right? Hash, insert, select sounds easy. Wrong. The whole interview falls apart. Code space math, uniqueness races, and read amplification you never sized. Today's real problem is not pretty UI, it's minting unique codes under write load, serving redirects under a brutal read ratio, and surviving hotkeys without lying about consistency. By the end, you should redraw the board cold and defend allocator plus 301 at the edge. Alright, let's lock requirements. Requirements first, lock them before you draw boxes. Functional, shorten a long URL into a unique shortcode. Redirect on get, optional custom alias for humans. Analytics, fine to name, but keep it off the critical path today. Non-functional, redirect latency should feel edge fast. Think tens of milliseconds, not a cross-region database hop. Uniqueness is sacred. Two codes must never map to different destinations by accident. Durability across years, these links outlive your deploy cycle. Below the line, say it out loud, full attribution warehouses, malware scanning pipelines, multi-region active writes, park them unless the interviewer expands. You are designing tiny URL physics, not the entire growth stack. If they ask what you'd cut under time pressure, analytics depth goes first, code uniqueness and redirect SLO stay. Next, APAs and the trap that fails seniors. APAs and entities. Keep payloads boring so the trap stays loud. Post slash API slash v1 slash shorten. Body, long URL, optional alias, optional TTL days, response, code and short URL. Get slash code returns 301 or 302 with location set to the long URL. Prefer 301 when mappings are immutable. CDN friendly. Delete is optional scope. Entities URL mapping. Code as primary key. Long URL, owner, timestamps, custom alias flag, code range or counter shard for minting. Click event, async only, code timestamp, course geo, never on the redirect path. Trap, accepting a client supplied code without a unique constraint and a clean 409 conflict. Two users race, last write wins, someone's launch link now points elsewhere. Custom alias is its own uniqueness domain. Reserved words, sarse, minimum length. Say that before you draw Redis. Back of envelope, numbers that force boxes. Assume about 100 writes a second creating links and 10,000 reads a second resolving them. That's roughly 100 to 1 read amplify. Storage over 5 years at that write rate with small rows. Low terabytes. Storage is not the story. Read QPS and hotkeys are. Code space. Base 62, length 7 is about 3.5 trillion codes. Comfortable, length 6 gets tight once you burn space on custom aliases and multi-year growth. So what do you say in the room? I size the code alphabet before I draw Redis. Those three numbers, write rate, read amplify, alphabet length, force an allocator on the right path and an edge cache on the red path. Next board is the HLD those numbers demand. High level design. Topic forced boxes, not generic CRUD. Right path. Client hits the shorten API. A code allocator hands out the next value from a range or pool. You encode base 62, insert URL mapping into the primary database with a unique constraint, return the sort URL, conflict, retry or 409 for aliases, read path. Client hits the edge, CDN or similar, then optional redis, then database fallback. For immutable mappings, 301 lets the edge hold location for a long TTL. Click events fan into an async queue toward analytics. They do not block the redirect story you defend. Strong uniqueness on write, eventually consistent cache on read if a short stale window is product acceptable. Post boxes, allocator, and 301 edge pass the rename test. If you only drew load balancer, service, database, you failed the physics. Deep dive 1, unique codes, wrong versus correct. This is where coffee gets serious. Wrong, take a hash of the URL, truncate, base 60 to it. Collisions explode under adversarial input. Same URL always yields the same code, sometimes desired, often not under control. And when the truncated space burns, you have no clean retry story. Correct? Range allocate a counter or pre-mint a pool. Then base 62 encode. Database unique on code, retry on rare conflict. Custom alias lives in a separate uniqueness domain with reserved words and charset rules. A staff note, at 100 writes a second, a single sequence is fine. At 50,000 writes a second, sharded ranges or snowflake style IDs become the probe. If they ask why not hash, give one sentence. Collisions and control, then move. Next, hotkeys. Deep dive 2, hotkeys and 301. The visceral failure mode. Wrong, every get hits origin, celebrity, alias slash elon becomes one key soaking the entire read QPS. You expire cache in sync across the fleet and stampede the database. Worse, you write click event synchronously on the redirect path. Latency and availability both die. Correct, prefer 301 for immutable mappings. So the CDN caches location, redies with jittered TTL, optional stampede lock on miss, analytics always async. Staff probe, what if links are editable? Then 302 and shorter cache, and you say the stale window out loud. Consistency story in one line, linearizable allocate or unique index on write. Cache OK reads if product accepts a brief wrong location. Own that trade. If you want to practice this loop live, boards, probes, timed mocks, sign up on YourAlly AI at YourAlly.live. Written boards for design URL Shortener also live on YourAlly Academy. Alright, closing checklist. Recap. Say it with the architecture. 1. Allocate codes counter to base 62 with a unique index, not hash and pray. 2. Custom aliases conflict with 409, never last write wins. 3. Immutable maps love 301 at the edge. 4. Hotkeys get jitter, stampede control, and async analytics of the redirect path. Hold that mini HLD in your head. Write allocator into primary store. Read edge first. Clicks never block location. If they poke consistency, one sentence. Strong uniqueness on write. Cache OK reads if the product accepts a brief stale window. Practice the full board on YourAlly Academy. Design URL Shortener and keep reps on YourAlly AI at YourAlly.live. YourAlly AI interview OS. Don't guess under the clock. Practice.